Hello again, listeners and viewers. Welcome back to the Koto Classic podcast. So we finally decided now it's a podcast with video. Yeah. It's been a while, our listeners and our viewers. We're recording the FPL Classic podcast, the 2023-24 season review. We didn't do the last Gaming 38 preview, so we just wanted to wait, give it a bit of time. Everything has died down, so now we can actually be relaxed enough. The pressure is off and do a season review. Yeah. So,
Yeah, freestyle.
um, freestyle, exactly. I'm your host, Solomon, aka Bruce, and I have my co host, Mr. Chama. It's been a while. Nakamudeme.
but it's been a while, definitely. I'm good, man.
That's
It's
good.
been
That's
a
good.
while. The season has ended quite a while, but yeah, it's good to think FPL again, and then
I
get ready
know.
for the next upcoming season.
Yeah. Also, ManU fans, you can see I'm wearing my jersey. It's been a long time.
Yeah,
We have something to be happy about
something
finally, and oh
something to
yeah,
cheer about.
ending the season on a high because it's been a terrible season, man. It's so terrible. Well, yeah, a lot going on, but yeah. So let's just jump right in. Timestamp. It's Thursday here, the 6th. It's about 10 p.m. at night in the US. What's it? What's it there? What's the time over there? Timestamp.
Yeah, we are just around 2 p.m. 2 p.m. during the day. Yeah.
Friday.
It's sun. Sun is already bright out there. Very hot today,
Of course.
but yeah.
Of course, yeah. It's been hot the past few days. Yeah, so let's jump right in. We have a kind of like a freestyle agenda. We're going to discuss a review the season. Of course, we have our personal targets before we started the season, and the takeaways, the good or bad of the season, and then lessons learned, and then maybe actually go through the chips and see when we played our chips whether it was successful or whether it wasn't successful. Well, basically, the season has ended, so we are looking forward to next season. But before we go into next season, we have to review the season and see what we can take to next season. So yeah, Java, what were your targets for the season? I remember you did not. I think that going without Haaland came afterwards, right? Or was
Yeah,
it
it
before the
came.
season started?
It came after game week 2 or game week
Yeah,
1.
I
After
remember.
game
Yeah,
week, yeah. Because
yeah.
I came into the season started. I think because usually the way I start the season is I only look short term, especially
Hmm.
nowadays. I look at the first four fixtures and then try to
Yeah.
get the best team possible for those fixtures. And
Hmm.
then I realized Hala was not part of those. Was not part of my plan in the first four
Yeah.
fixtures of the season. But I think there was a big appeal to get him around game week 3 or game week 4 when they played against Fulham. I think he scored a hat trick in that game. Bournemouth or Fulham, I cannot remember.
Hmm.
So that was the game I pinpointed. Oh, this game I really needed him. But after starting the season, like feeling comfortable without him, and then yeah, I just challenged myself to say, okay, let me go without Haaland this season and then see how it goes. It was fun at some point, but it was also, it was not easy. I can remember
Nerve
hiding in my
wracking.
so,
Yeah.
especially the first hat trick he scored in this season, or the first game he got injured. I can
Uh,
remember, hiding. Yeah, but it
I
was
remember.
fun. It was fun
Yeah, I
while
remember
it lasted.
Man City had like a kind of like a tough season. Sorry, tough few fixtures in the beginning of the season. That's why you wanted to stay away from Haaland because we were sure that he wasn't going to outscore some of the strikers in the game. So, yeah, I think it was a strategy going towards going into the season. But then afterwards, it's like, you know what? Let me just challenge myself because you were afraid of having the Haaland FOMO. That was your issue. You wanted to conquer the Haaland FOMO, right? But
Yeah, definitely. Actually, it was Fulham. Yeah, I just checked the fixtures. It was game week 4. I can remember they
mhm.
beat Fulham 5-1. Haaland scored 20 points in that week. He scored 3. That was his first hat trick of the season. And then he also provided an assist against Fulham. Because the season they started against Burnley, Newcastle, and then Sheffield United. Which, of course, Sheffield United, you want to have Haaland away from home. But you know
Yeah.
how I think about players when it comes to home and away. Regardless of the player, I always kind of tend to think they are better when they play at home than when they play away. So they played Fulham in game week 4. So that was the week I pinpointed to get Haaland from game week 4. But um, By then, I have already made the decision to go without him, and then he punished
Well,
me
it
really
was quite
badly.
a
I got him.
challenge too.
Yeah. I
Go
can
on, go
remember
ahead.
sleeping that night. I can remember sleeping that night. He did not score until because one game was around 11 or 12 night, late night. Like it was the 3 o'clock kickoff, which usually in Japan is 11 p.m. or 12 p.m. It depends on the time they were playing. So I watched the first half. He was not doing much. So then I went to sleep, but I cannot sleep because of Haaland, I wanted to sleep too because I had to wake up early to go coaching and stuff like that. But yeah, it was tough if from the beginning. But then after it became better, he was not scoring a lot of points. And then
Yeah,
all of a sudden, before the season ended, he started, getting some points which became so vital. Yeah.
I think you were lucky enough to use this strategy in the season where Haaland kind of faltered a bit. Like because
Mm-hmm.
if it was Haaland of first season, because first season like we were okay, he came in and everybody was scared of not getting him, and then the second
Yeah.
season we expected more from him, but then he kind of like dropped down a bit with the injuries, the lack of form.
Yeah.
Even Man City as a whole, they won the league obviously, but then they're not at their best. They were not at their best to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. So this is the perfect time to use that strategy. Next season maybe you'll go back to first season Haaland. You never
Yeah,
know.
but the other thing was, first season he came in 11.5 million. So
Yeah.
if he scored this season, he was the leading goal scorer in the league, but of course not in FPL. He was not the overall top scorer in FPL. I think that was Cole Palmer, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, Cole Palmer had the highest FPL points, 244. Haaland finished the season fifth behind Foden, Watkins, and Saka. He still ended up with 217 points. So at 11.5 million from last season, if he ended up with this amount of points, I think it would have been acceptable. But he started the season as the most
14.
expensive FPL
Yeah.
player ever.
Yeah.
Ever. No FPL player has ever, like, at least since I started playing FPL, no player has cost 14 million in the game. So you expected, on that, based on that price, you would expect extraordinary season in terms of points.
Returns, yeah.
Last season he had an extraordinary season because he scored quite a lot of goals last season. But but even despite having that season in terms of the amount of goals that he scored, that was not even the best FPS season in terms of points. So his price has risen to the point where it is the most expensive ever. And then last season he was absolutely mental, and he could not even get to the top of FPL scoring chart. So, like, there was something to gain there, I feel, in a way. But also it was a challenge that I took, which was absolutely crazy to do. But yeah, it was what it was. It ended like last season 272 points. Yeah, I think that Salah holds the record with 303 points. So he's the only player to ever score more than 300 points in FPL. So Haaland last season he got 272 points, but then his price went to the highest it can get. So yeah,
I mean,
for me that did not add up.
It was a big chunk of the budget when it came out that he was 14 million. I was like, man, but everybody was scared. Like to make that move, I wasn't even dreaming about it because I was like, yeah, because what you don't want is to start with my strategy going into the season is just to the first 5 or 6
Be with
games
the pack, yeah.
be with the pack, get the template players fine, and then try to break away and then try to identify the players who are like, going to be like the mainstays in the team. Like I think I was onto Gordon early, even Palmer. I had him in my team very early. I don't know when I have to probably check when I got them in, but yeah, it was pretty early.
Yeah.
So yeah. So what were your personal targets going into the season, if you can remember any?
Uh, yeah. I can remember because for me, usually it is based on points. I think, it's usually based on the how many points I can get for my captain, how many points that I can get, and then it eventually ends up being. So my target for captain points was 20-ish on average, 20-ish on average, and then no, actually 15 on average. Then you have the overall, it was like about averaging at least 65 points in total. If you combine the captain points, if you combine the rest of your team, the 10 players that you have in your team, and then of course the number of hits that you take on in the season. That is usually how I base my season on. Because it served me well in the previous, like 2 seasons ago, and I wanted to go back to basics and do the same thing. So my target like I believe if you get to that number, you will get into the top 10,000 or stuff like that. It was not the case in this season because I think you get more than 65,000 points. Like you average more than 65 points per game week, but it did not end up being enough to get in the top 10K. So yeah, I always want to get into the top 10,000 because I've tasted that part. But I want to do it in my own way by getting the points that are required to get to the top 10. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah.
How about you? What was your target?
I can't remember, but I remember. It was funny because the season was a bit. This season was a bit tough. Like we said. But what I can still remember is why did I forget that I finished 69K last season? Because I'm still thinking about it. Like, why can't I remember? Because I remember celebrating it. So this season, last season, my target was to finish top 100K. I ended up finishing in 69K. I was like, okay, you know what? I was pushing for 50K after I achieved the 100K. So this season, I was going in with the intention that, you know what, finish 100K, but 50K is basically the target, right? If I can remember correctly.
Yeah.
But then the way it started, I was like, this is going to be a tough season. Every season is a bit different. Last season was a bit different. Haaland came in and, did his thing. So this season, we're expecting something similar, but then obviously Liverpool stuff has started happening. Salah didn't start the way Salah usually starts, so there were a few different things that, didn't go as planned as last season. So it's like a different season altogether. That's why FPL, I think you gave me the advice to always approach every season that is different. Don't try to say, okay, because of last season this happened, I'm going to use the same
approach. Yeah, it does not work.
It doesn't work. So I've learned that lesson a long time ago now. So I think, like you said, target was points and also rank. So I finishing what did I finish? What was my rank again?
You're in the top 300, right? Oh, top 200K, right? You finished one something, right?
I finished 146. Not bad. I mean, it's not bad considering, that I finished 69K, 140. Yeah, it's okay. I think I'll take that, to be honest. So yeah. So you said you went without Haaland, right? So what were your main takeaways, or what lesson would you take from this season? Take it to next season, like the positives, obviously. Positives. Well, what would you take to next season?
I think the big thing that you can learn from that is every single player in the game is important, and every single player too is not like it's not immovable or it's not untouchable. Like every player is touchable, regardless of who the player is. So I know we tend to have. It's essential.
Essential. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, that is the biggest thing I took away from that. I would say, even though I knew that even ahead of the season that like you should never treat a player like he's untouchable in your team. But every player you should give him the consideration. Every single player, because if you start ruling out players in your team, it might affect you I don't want to use men because it's not a mental game. It's not a mental thing, but at least psychologically, in terms of picking that player again, it might come into play when you say, okay, I don't want to pick this player, and then you keep going. Even there is a time where this player will give you rewards if you get him in this particular game week, but you don't get him. So yeah, I think that is the thing I took away from it, and it's possible. It's possible to play the game without these players. I remember previous season, not this season. This season I've not been following what the winner, what the champion did or something. But the previous season, I was so interested in what the champions were saying after the end of the season when their season was reviewed. And the defending champion actually, who was defending the FPL title this season, he was telling you that the difference in his season was the time he was not afraid to get rid of Haaland when he think Haaland was exceptional. Like we say, Haaland was exceptional in 2023 season. He was exceptional, but like he could count the number of times he captained Haaland in that particular season.
Mhm.
He was not doing it just because of he like everybody has
Following
to
the
captain
crowd,
Haaland
yeah.
because it was
Yeah.
following the crowd, but he was doing it based on, is he the right captain this week? He always questioned himself about Haaland every single game week. Is he the right captain for me this week, or is there a better captain to or there is another gamble to do this particular week? And then he was very brave at going against Haaland, which
Mhm.
is a difficult
It paid
task for
off.
many
Yeah.
FPL managers, to go against Haaland. But he still managed to do it, and I think that was the reason why he won the game. So knowing when not to get these so-called essential players is vital in this game. If you want to do really well in the game, I would say. If you want to do average, then you can just have those players over the course of the season. You will be an average manager. You will be around. You can even get into the top 10,000. But if you want to like be a late riser and then try to win the game, sometimes you have to go away from these players. To be honest.
I think you have to do something different because,
Mhm.
okay, like the first few game weeks is this template. Everybody does the same thing, because we don't know. Player transfers are coming in, new players are coming into the game. We don't know how they're going to perform. All of a sudden, and after then you start having players that break in. That then people will start rushing, and then the template changes. So I think the most important thing for me that I learned this past season is that, like you said, we need to question these essentials, especially Haaland, because we sometimes you get that feeling that, what, this game is going to be a tough game for Haaland. I think I should go with somebody else, but then you go online or you let somebody else's moves like dictate how you are going to play the game, which is very crucial. Sometimes you need to let your decisions be your own and not let other people's decisions, like obviously we have this community online where you go, all these guys that have, they also have
Yeah.
channels, big channels. They speak their own opinion, obviously, but then their opinion also holds weight. So if you're a really good manager, you also have to believe that, what, this is what I saw, this is what I believe. So if I make this mistake, it is on me. I'm fine with it. But if you take somebody's
Yeah.
opinion and then you say, okay, because of this guy said it, let me do this, and you say, then
Template.
it doesn't go your way, template. Then you
Yeah.
wish you had, you're stuck
No,
with your own. But
but the other thing too is template sometimes is good, right? It's sometimes the right thing to
at
do.
the
But at
right time,
least,
yeah.
yeah, at least you have to question it. You have to question, is the template the right thing to do? Like you have to question it, and then you have to come to the decision. Yes, the template is the way to go, and then you can go
Yeah.
with the template if that is the case. But if you are going just with template for the purpose of template, like for me, I don't really get that. I don't mind like even like in weeks where, like for example, the previous season when I was having picking Haaland, like because some week I will pick him because of the template, and then the following week, I will just say okay, because of the template last week, I'm just gonna go away from Haaland. So I'm not even giving the proper thought. So my thoughts were always keep mixing with Haaland. When I should get him, I was not getting him. When I should not get him, I was getting rid of him. And then it ended up being a war between like getting Haaland and not getting Haaland. I want it to be a thought process. Like, why are you getting Haaland? Is he the best player in that particular week? Why are you getting Salah? Is he the best player in that particular week? Those kind of questions you have to ask them every single time. And like you will get it wrong sometimes, without shadow of a doubt. Like
Yeah.
you will get it wrong sometimes, but you have to live with it. Yeah. For me, yeah, that is my biggest thing.
Yeah,
And hopefully this season I will do that.
I think because Haaland didn't do as well as he did in his first season, last season, or the season before. Going into this coming season now, regardless of what happens, people are going to start questioning whether, Haaland is definitely the one to go with, because that's what this season has taught us, this past season. Because he's been injured sometimes, and it forced us to, at some point, I forgot, maybe 20 something or 16, whatever, when he was injured, people had to go to other strikers. And then, the funds were released, and then you can actually play the game without being fearful of somebody who's, like Haaland, who's going to be, like, you're going to consider. So I kind of feel like next season, people are going to, like, okay, consider, okay, Haaland is there, fine, we understand this. But then let's try and play the game, like, not being fearful of Haaland, because, it was good. It was a very tough season in the way that Haaland was in there most of the time, and he wasn't even on form even when he played. He had a few hat tricks here and there, but because we had so many good midfielders, like the Palmers, the Gordons, that always delivering all the time, we didn't really miss him much, So it was an interesting.
Yeah.
It was an interesting season for me.
Yeah, and
So,
you remember last season? Oh, not this season, 2 seasons ago, and then the last video I used it. We used to talk about the captaincy metric sticker, and then keep following. But like everything go out of the way because of how
you
Haaland
can't do
was.
that anymore. Yeah,
So, yeah, you got
doesn't make any sense anymore.
Exactly. But yeah, so those kind of things, at least because that was giving you the option to think about other players as well as for your captaincy. Like Parma captain, like podcasts, they
There's
really
no
kill this
thinking
game.
goes into it. Yeah, there's no thinking. Oh well, it's Haaland, so you're
Yeah,
gonna cover.
that's
It's like
it.
you're trying to.
I don't wanna mess up, so I'm gonna go with it. Like
Yeah,
messing up is part of playing FPL. You can mess up sometimes. It's okay.
so
You can be perfect.
who was your best player of the season according to your team, or let's say, yeah, according to your team, a player that
Personally,
you feel like made or at least saved your season, or one that you actually enjoyed owning throughout the season.
to be honest, this season, I cannot pinpoint a player that really I was, because I own Salah a lot of the time, and he was not. There was time he was not doing well.
Yeah.
I own Foden for most part of the season, but when it became crucial, I let him go, and then try to chase other things, which I always do. So I will not say, of course, he was exceptional in my team. He was in my team for most part of the season. Son too. I was not, like, there were periods that I was not happy with Son in my team. I was even considering selling him. I would say Watkins though. I would say Watkins because I was one of those managers who, I was one of those managers who hold Watkins, who started, who got Watkins when he started doing well. Like just when he was starting to pick up, that's when I got him. So I did not get him when he peaked. I get him before he peaked, and so at least I enjoy those points because FPL is all about that. Because a player's graph is always gonna go from down up and then go. So you wanna get the player just before the graph is gonna pick up, and then you wanna get rid of him just before the graph is gonna fall off. That is the game. At least you have to do that for every single player over the course of the season. So if you can do that if you know how to do that for every single player, then definitely you will win FPL. But it's very difficult to know when the players
the timing
is about to go up. Yeah, the timing just before he goes up, and then when he's not needed anymore. So it's very difficult. So I think the closest player I get to doing that with Watkins for me has been that player for me. I got him in the good moments, and also in some of his difficult moments. I got rid of him. Who would you say was your best player in your own personal team?
Checking the I can't remember, to be honest, because memory is gone. Checking this a new PLA.net, they just give you all the sources. Funny enough, the player that I actually first half of the season, I think it was Gordon. Because I guess most of the time when I like these players is when I just bring them into my team, just because of I just like them, and it happens that he was one of the important players in that time. And then I switched to Palmer. I remember when I was telling about Palmer that I like the way he plays. I just brought him into my team, and then he started performing.
Yeah.
So so some of these players, obviously, like you said, it's good to jump on them at the right time. But also the thing is, the difficult thing is when these players are performing, it's nice, it's okay. But when they stop performing, then when do you jump off? Because sometimes you kind of get a kind of attachment on the players. Okay, he's performing, he's been doing well for me.
Yeah.
But then also like 3 or 4, 5 game weeks, he's hasn't.
you are now a veteran in FPL.
Yes. And then you feel like, what, I need to jump off. That's what happened with Gordon. Yeah, I think about 2 or 3 game weeks, I was like, this guy, the form is gone. He's getting injuries here and there. So I was like, time to jump off, and I jumped off. And I think I brought him back into my game week. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I think at the latter stages when they had a double game week, I brought him back at the right time. So it's all about timing. It's very important to know the timing of these players in FPL.
Timing is key in FPL. To be honest, it's absolutely key. On and off, those are like the best FPL managers are the ones who can do that more ruthlessly. Like they take everything away from. Just like it's just like football nowadays. They try to take every other thing outside of when they're making decision on recruitment. For example, like Liverpool does that. When they do recruitment, like regardless of the player or the status of the player, it's always about thinking what is best for the club, and then they will analyze that. If it turns out that the best for the club is to get rid of that player, even though he is signing, they will do it because they are following the analytics aspect of it. And it's the same in FPL. You have to do that. And
It's like
the
taking out
best
the
ones are
emotion out of taking out the emotion out of the game and then focusing on the
exactly.
numbers and everything else, the stats,
Exactly, and the trends,
yeah,
you use the trends
yeah.
like the stars, numbers, and what you are watching, what you are seeing with your eye,
Mm-hmm.
and then make a
Right
decision based
system.
on that. Yeah, if it works out, fine. If it does not, you just live with it. You know that you went through a right process, right? It's all about the processes.
So, what was your biggest disappointment? I'm sure it has to do with the chips, like mine.
Yeah, yeah. For like without shadow of
Uh,
a doubt, my chips. I think you saw my. I just saw you my team. In from game week 24 to game week 30 to
mhm.
game week 38, I got 2 green arrows, and during that period, I played a bench boost. I played a wild card. I played a triple captain, and I played a free hit. So I played all the chips during that period where you see I have only 2 green arrows in that particular period. So my chips has been a major disappointment for me. Especially the reason why it's even more disappointing for me is because I spend a lot of time thinking about my chips. It's not just like the chip is
Yeah,
good
you
this week.
plan it very well. Yeah,
I plan it. I think about it. You know, I went through all these thought processes about the chips. Yes, it failed. It failed miserably. Yeah, that was my biggest disappointment. Yeah, all of my chips this season has been disappointing. The first wildcard was disappointing too. I remember playing it early in the first half of the season. It was not as disappointing as the second one, but yeah, my chips have been really poor this season, and maybe I'm not so good at doing chips. I don't know, because I cannot remember really having a good like
like all the chips.
despite getting it spot on despite all the thinking like I don't get rewarded for the thought process I go for my chips, so that's why I'm disappointed.
Yeah,
How about you?
for me, I think I've done pretty okay with chips. This season, the past season, maybe just one of the chips will probably come good, but this time around, I wildcarded in game week 6, so I had 71 points and the average was 68. So it was like it's like I didn't even play the wildcard at all. So, but you
Yeah.
play the wildcard so that the next few game weeks you can actually start benefiting. So that wasn't an issue. In game week 25, I played my triple captain. That was a disappointment because the average points was 73 and I just had 88. I think I captained Haaland, so almost everybody captained Haaland. I think you scored a goal. That was the game week that Man City had double game week. I cannot remember this, right? And he scored
Yeah.
one goal in the 2 games.
Yeah.
So that wasn't good at all. Yeah, because usually triple captains, at least if you get like more from your captain, but 30 points is not bad. The free hit was the worst. This is like one of my worst chips ever, without a shadow of a doubt. You know, it was a blank.
29, right?
The big blank, yeah, blank game week 29. Oh man, I was like, why did I even play this chip? It's like if I haven't even played the chip, like everybody else, I would have still had more points than playing the chip. These are some of the things that I actually do not like. It's like I feel like wasting a chip. So I had 16 points, average was 12. I still got a massive red arrow in this game. I mean, it was big. I was so disappointed. I was like, because I was
I can remember.
contemplating. I really planned it. Brought some players in, like some Bournemouth, like I think Kekesh. I brought Kekesh in right back. He got a red card.
Yeah,
I don't even know, man. It was like so
and,
disappointing.
and, and the most disappointing, the worst of it is the planning started in game week 23, 24
Yeah,
because game week
yeah, it was
29 was the big blank. So everybody
bad.
planned
Yeah.
the free hit for that one. I did not play the free hit that game week, but my free hit was a disappointing nonetheless because
Yeah,
I played
yeah.
in the subsequent games, which was very bad.
Yep. So wildcard, not bad. 35. This is the first time I've actually wildcarded this late. Most times I wildcard probably right after like after the halfway of the season. So, but this one was warranted because it took some planning. Remember, we had the double game week, and you either choose one. Was it
Uh-huh.
29? There was some doubles involved with Tottenham
Yeah,
and then Chelsea. So yeah, you had to choose
yeah,
which one you wanted to go with, and this was the best strategy
yeah.
after
That was
analyzing everything.
34 and 37. 34 and
Yeah,
37, yeah.
37 was another double. So 37 is when I
Yeah.
bench boost, played my bench boost chip, which I had the highest points at 131 for the season. So yeah, I mean, overall, I think it was kind of like an okay season in a way that the planning was okay. But we were saved. I think most managers were saved by how good some of these new players were in the season. Like Watkins was exceptional. Gordon
Palmer.
could have done much better. Palmer was like, for me, was my player of the season, to be honest. If you ask me, player of the season, nobody saw it coming. It was just he actually single-handedly like pulled Chelsea out of the mud that they were supposed to be in,
Yeah,
single-handedly. So
definitely.
yeah, Foden also came clutch like in the second half of the season, when Haaland was not so good. Watkins, Foden, Palmer, even Salah, surprisingly enough, did okay for me actually with 217 points. So I mean, you would think that we didn't speak about him because he didn't have the best of season, but here he is in my team with 217 points, second
Yeah,
only
yeah,
to
yeah.
Haaland. I mean, yeah. So
No,
what else can we talk
yeah.
about the Egyptian king? Not much.
So,
Um, yeah, man. So that is a review in a nutshell. Just to
can we look at
mention
the
more
winner?
stats
I think no,
for
we
the
have not.
classic.
Yeah, the winner of the league.
For the
At
winner,
least,
yeah.
let me bring it on
What
it.
was his team like? You can bring it on. Share. Let me see. I
Let,
didn't
let
hear
me.
much about him, to be honest. I just saw that they announced it on the FPL page.
No, I mean our winner. Go to classic.
Oh, okay,
Ours.
awesome. Yeah,
We have our own winner, yeah. And then he's a
yeah,
second
yeah.
time winner, right? Two times
Second
winner.
time winner. It's just right at the wasn't the last game week, game 38, right? That's when he came. That's when he pipped the long-standing Murshid Jeng.
Yeah,
Because
my
Murshid has
boy.
been bleeding the whole like almost the whole season, or probably like half of the season, and then
Yeah.
just like that. So congratulations.
Mateta killed him because Mateta scored hat trick in the final day, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Did
yeah,
he?
yeah, yeah.
So Moses was not having Mateta, so he texted me telling me Mateta kill his season because he was ahead by 11 points ahead of this game week actually. So to lose it in the final week in that
11
circumstance,
it's not a lot, but at some point it was 50 points from like between him
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
50. Oh
He had
yeah,
a
it's a
very
lot,
big lead, yeah.
a lot of points.
But
Yeah,
nonetheless, he
so
win the Gambia League. So I tell him, yeah, you just that was a great season for him. When you 2 3 seasons ago when he started playing FPL, that Music. Before we talk about Andrew, 2 or 3 seasons, like he texted me, and then he was like, he was so like, how can I say it? Very excited about the game and very energetic. Like he came with full energy, but he was new to the game. So I kind of
mhm,
see myself in him when I started playing the game. I was so excited about the game. I want to win everything, and then he came with that kind of attitude. And so I was really happy to see him up there, winning or at least competing at the top, finishing number
competing.
one in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Gambia. The Gambia there are more than 2,000 players play FPL. So to be number one in the Gambia is massive, I would say. So congratulations to Musi Jeng and Mubasir. And but Andrew second time winner. Andrew Henning, you remember?
Andrew, man, this is yeah. I remember Andrew, man. Like nobody saw it coming. Was he in the top five
No,
the
he
last week?
he
He
had a
wasn't.
late surge. He had a late surge.
Wow, this is this is like a, how do you call it again? A veteran move right there. So
Yeah, a veteran
congratulations.
move, exactly.
A lot of
Eh,
Caicedo. Congratulations, Andrew Henning, for winning the Koto Classic
uh-huh.
2023-2024 FPL um, mini league. So yeah, let's just start from 10. You can see me right there, just by
Yeah,
one
yeah,
point.
you are just knocking on the door. You are just knocking
a
on the door.
single, a single point. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, it happens, man.
Very, uh, I was not far off too.
You're not
I was
far. You're
just
not far off.
three or
Yeah,
four, four,
we were close. We were
four
close.
positions of you.
Both of us were
Yeah, go
close.
ahead.
Yeah, throughout the season.
Yeah.
So in 10th, we have Roy Hobeka, Game of Thrones. 9th, AJ. In 8th, Kabasamba, Selekao.
Kaba.
Thomas Bright, Udogi style. 6th is Ahmed Tigen Suleiman. He was doing very well this season too.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
but things happen. Dropping down to 5th is Chiongo, FPL planner. Moving
yeah.
to 4th is Modo Jallo up to Saudi. Staying in third is Alaji Bitei, Hani Mukhtar. He was also in the top 10, like moving up and down. And then Mushid, who was like the long-standing leader of the group or the mini league for a long almost half the season, and then
Yeah,
chipped by
inexperience
at the
killed
end.
him.
Yeah, he should
Yeah,
have
but
protected
yeah,
his lead,
yeah,
but then man, it's Crystal Palace, like
yeah. But
and
the
there's
final few game weeks, you should have get like Mateta, I feel,
because they
because
had
he was one of,
they had some doubles, right? Yeah, and it
and he
was
was
oh,
flying. Mateta was flying.
mhm.
Eze was flying. At least have a couple of Crystal Palace. They had a very good fixture. Exactly, they
Yeah,
had a
yeah,
double in
they had a very
37,
good fixture. Yeah.
and they had a very good fixture in the final game. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's tough, but yeah, I think he will learn
It's a
from it,
lesson
and
he will
then
learn from it. Yeah, it's a lesson he will
yeah,
learn
be a
from. To be
better manager
honest.
for it.
Yeah.
You said
Um.
Andrew, veteran move. To be honest, if you look at this list, he's one of that managers we are not even covering when it comes to the top five
Yeah.
every week.
I
He
haven't
was
even
never
seen
there.
him anywhere. Yeah, not
Yeah, and
once.
all of a sudden he's there winning the
Maybe
league.
he was, but he wasn't a
No, but he was not in
constant
the top
user.
five. He was not in the top five. He was never in the top five
Wow.
because I prepare the graphics, those ones. I've never really
So you remember?
written
Mhm.
until the final few weeks. Yeah, it's
Wow.
that is legend move, or like you say
Legend.
veteran move.
Legend. Yeah. So congrats again, Andrew. This was a fun. This was a tough mini league season, man. It was so tough.
Yeah,
Even as much as I was doing okay, like it's like every time you see movement, the top five, there's always movement. Top 10, like
yeah.
you know, yeah. Um. So we'll move on to like a final section, which is the fan corner. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
We'll just quickly breeze through it. Liverpool, just give us a nutshell of your season in review, like what happened, because I'm sure there's a big change coming your way. So how would
Uh-huh.
you summarize your season?
Uh this season is a decent season, I would say. It's a decent season. Like there are points that you will feel disappointed with the season, but overall, if I'm just like stepping back to the start of the season and then think what my thoughts were at that point to what happens at the end of the season, I would say it's a good season because I think we got what we wanted. Because I think if you remember, I was the one I was telling you earlier in the season, Liverpool should sell Salah.
Mm.
If you can remember very well. And the reason I based that on was I don't think Liverpool are going to compete for the league, and then they're gonna win the league. But I believe even without Salah, Liverpool can finish top four, and that was the target this season, finishing top four. Because I don't think we are ready to compete against Man City and whatever, We ended up competing until the very, very late stage of the season. So if I look back and then maybe the final 10 games of the season, if I were to set my targets then, like ignoring the first part of the season, I would have said it, we have to win the league because we are in a very good position at that point. We are we are at the top of the league. And then, the story about club leaving, all whatnot has already emerged. We are playing really well. We are flying in all competition, the Europa League, the FA Cup until Man United win that one very, very late.
Mhm.
We are flying in all those competitions. So at that point, if I were to set the target for Liverpool, my personal target were Liverpool, I was expecting at least we should have get at least one extra trophy to add to the
Mm.
League Cup that we already had. So in that way, I'm disappointed that we could not, maintain that challenge. And then I also blame the coach for that in a way because I think sometimes his tactics were not right and stuff like that. So I'm disappointed in that aspect. But overall, I cannot be disappointed about the season we have. We got the target, which was to finish in the top four, and then to get a trophy to add to that. I think that is
Just
a
for a good
good
send off,
good season. Yeah,
or good send off
yeah.
for club. And so now you have, excuse me, you have a new coach now. So what are your expectations for next season?
Yeah,
What do you
it's a
think is
difficult
going
one.
to happen? There's a lot of change
It,
happening in your
yeah,
club as well as
it's
mine.
a
But
difficult one, and yeah, to be honest, I've not yet digested this one. I know he's coming in, and I'm excited for him because of what he can bring and the type of coach he is. But it's just the person who is leaving. That is the problem
mhm,
we always have. The person who is leaving. Even though I wanna forget about him now and think about the future, but it's not that it's not as easy as that. So I'm not expecting much from him. If he can, keep the momentum going, if he can, my expectation from him, if he can keep this momentum going, keep the top four, like at least keep Liverpool in the top four, and then gradually he stamped his authority in the team, and then started pushing for things in the future. So I don't know what to expect from him, but at least let him finish in the top four. That would be my minimum
Let him
requirement for
continue
him.
from where club stop, and let's develop the team
Yeah,
and not. Yeah,
yeah. So that is the thing with Arna Slot. So I'm excited for it preseason. I'm excited and see
yeah.
what
Preseason
will
is always
happen.
exciting. Yeah, and
Uh,
this with the new
yeah,
coach and everything. So
mm-hmm,
we are still stuck in last season. We haven't closed the
yeah,
season yet.
yeah,
Fine, it was a terrible season. A lot of injuries, a lot of stuff going on. Anthony, Sancho. That's like I've not had or even witnessed a more disruptive season in a man like in my years of being a Man U fan. So many
mm-hmm,
things happening. Yet still, people have used the FA Cup because it's a good win against one of our bitter rivals, who was like the
yeah,
best team. Well, in my opinion, the best team in the world, and we managed to beat them. It's like
uh-huh,
we taking revenge from last season's FA Cup where they won and they had the
yeah,
four-peat. And this season, we kind of stopped them from having the double, even though
uh-huh,
they won it four times, whatever. But last season they treble, sorry, the treble.
mm-hmm,
So it's kind of like an achievement, people are saying the coach should be sacked. Some are saying he should stay. Majority of people, the fans, are saying that he should stay because we are tired of getting new coaches every 2 seasons or every 3 seasons. It's like every time it's a cycle. Do the same thing. Go and get like a coach. The team start developing in a way, and then they forget fired. So now we are still waiting on the final decision by Ineos whether they're going to fire or whether they're going to keep him. But basically, we still have a lot of work to do in the team. We have to sell a lot of players. We have to buy new players. There's a change in that people are coming in. The director of football, the sports director, whatever, the CEO. Oh, it's a lot of changes. So, man, like to be honest, I don't even know where to start. So basically, we're just waiting for news because this news, whether the coach is going to stay or leave, is going to like really affect the way we perform next season, in my opinion. Because bringing in a new coach and trying to get as many players as possible in as well as out, it's not going to be easy. Like it's not going to be. It's probably even might even get worse if it gets better. So yeah, at least I'll take the FA Cup win. We have a cup. At least that will keep me smiling or keep the smile on my face. At least for now. So yeah.
yeah. It would have been a disaster if you did
It would
not
have
win
been
the
a
FA Cup because
total
yeah,
disaster. Like honestly.
no
Yeah,
European
yeah,
competition.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
It
think
would have been
well,
crazy.
it's a good end to the season for you guys. And to be honest, if you watch the FA, I watched the FA Cup final, and I was really impressed with the performance from Manchester
We
United.
we are up
Because
for it. Yeah, we are up for it.
yeah, yeah. I like me like, when it comes to these kind of derby games, I'm always gonna give all teams the opportunity to. I will give them the benefit of the doubt all the time.
Mhm.
And United, I think, yeah, especially Bruno, that was his best game I've seen
Well,
from
that was
him
his
in a
best game.
very
Yeah.
very long game, in a very long time.
I
Yeah.
have a theory. I think he plays a lot of games
Uh-huh.
and he wants to be there for the team all the time. He never misses. I think he only missed like twice since he came to
This
Man.
is
Man. Even before that, in his former club, he doesn't miss games. But sometimes you need to rest, or else you
yeah.
just when you don't rest, you don't really have a refreshed spirit. You're just playing. At some point, it's like a blur. You don't know which game, one game from the next. You're just playing and he was really bad this season, to be honest. Apart from this FA
Overall,
Cup,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, he just needs to take his time and rest. You can't do it all, man. So anyway, moving on. So Man City, they have won
Yeah.
the Premier League 4 times in a row. Like,
Yeah.
what are we going to do about Man City? Like, do we pray for Pep so that he retires? This like what?
Yeah, that.
We are. I'm
Yeah, I
I'm
think
I'm honestly tired of seeing Pep's face.
in the Premier League. Yeah.
Man.
And then he's coaching a team that like, I don't know, for you like, unless you are competing against them, they bother you. But to be honest, they're not the team that you would like. Oh man, City, oh man, Um, but yeah, it is what it is. They keep winning. They keep winning the league,
And they
and
weren't even the
they
best this season. They didn't have the best of season. They still
they
won.
don't have a great season. Yeah,
Yeah,
but of course, the quality of the team they have at the end
yeah,
of the day,
yeah.
Yeah. It was sad to see they win the league with a very low number of points, especially
Mhm.
we have not seen those kind of numbers in a very long time. We usually see, the high points.
Competition, yeah, competition.
Yeah.
That's where Arsenal comes in. So
Mm,
Arsenal is they're at an upward trajectory. So right now they're moving
mm,
forward. Last season,
mm,
the season before, sorry, they bottled it. You can say at some point,
mm,
they bottled it because they were leading, and then they were supposed to challenge. This
mm,
season now, it kind of felt like they kind of moved past that hurdle of bottlers or whatever. But
mm,
they kind of, in a way, they didn't bottle it. It was just a difficult game against Aston Villa. That's where the points were
mm.
dropped. You know, so I kind of felt like next season, man, they're going to be there. It's going to be a much more closer title race than this
Yeah.
season. So
Yeah,
they
I
have a
agree. I
chance.
think I think you put it right. I think Arsenal, they are on the up. Last season they did well. Inexperience didn't
Mhm.
help, and then this season they
Injuries, they
became
had
more
injuries. They
experienced.
had injuries
Yeah,
still last season. Yeah,
yeah.
so the
And
injuries.
this
Yeah.
season they became more experienced in that regard. They became better. They have better players in their team, so they
Hmm.
competed and get more points at the end of the day. To be honest, people keep saying about the Aston Villa games, but at the end of the day, they drop points in other games, right? I can remember the back-to-back they drop against Fulham and West Ham at home.
Hmm.
Those ones too, you can pinpoint those ones. So at the end of the day, it's all about how many points you can accumulate. So sometimes like people will tend to pinpoint, oh, this was the game that you lose the league and
But it's
all
an
whatnot.
overall.
But it's an overall thing, right? If they took the points at West Ham or Fulham, then the Aston Villa game will not have mattered. At the end of the day, all the
Mhm.
points mattered. But because of the most recent one, that is what people usually pick on and say this was the
That's like
what was fresh on the mind.
what
Yeah,
people can
yeah.
remember. Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I think they fought well. That was a difficult one against Aston Villa. They got them on the break and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
Aston Villa.
And then
Aston Villa beat
Man
Man
City,
City. So I
yeah,
mean,
they beat Man City. Yeah, they collected 3 points from Man City exactly.
yeah,
So
so it's not an easy game. It wasn't. It's never going to be
yeah.
an easy game, to be honest. It's funny.
Mhm.
We beat Aston Villa home and away. Can you believe that?
Seriously, Aston
Yeah.
Villa. Uh,
Uh-huh.
you beat them home and away.
Home and away. Yeah. I can't even. When I was like, hey, are you kidding me? This is the season. I mean, FPL is one of the best leagues in the world. That should just tell
Uh,
you. Man, as
PPL,
tough as
yeah.
we are, we beat them. I mean, anybody can beat anybody. So
Mhm.
yeah. I mean, I can't wait for next season, especially during the off season. Like we'll start soon after I'm sure after the Euros, we'll have more transfers coming in, like announcements, and this is one of my best part of the season actually. Is the transfer
Before the
window? Oh
season
yeah,
start.
oh I love it. The transfer window, all this
When everybody is
speculation, the
at zero.
rumors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Hopefully,
So yeah, you also put there about Pep 2025. What happened there? I've heard something
actually
about that, but I don't. I'm
there
not
was
sure
a
if it is.
rumor.
Uh-huh.
There was a rumor. I picked this up on one of the things that I watch on YouTube. There was a rumor that he might retire next season because
Uh-huh.
I think he's director of football. I'm butchering this up or something like that. One of his
Uh-huh.
best friends that he got from Barcelona that came to Man City. He's also
Uh-huh.
retiring. But
Uh-huh.
the City group, I think they want to keep him like still in the same organization. So maybe he might come to
Uh-huh.
America and then maybe coach one of these teams or something like that. So I think he's tired because he's won it all, man. He's tired now. Where else is there? Go to another league and do the same thing. So maybe I think he might be retiring in 2025. Yeah,
That's when his contract
that is.
expires at City,
I don't
right?
know if I'm not sure if it
I,
expires.
I
I'm
I
not
think
sure.
that's the
But
final year of his contract because I think it
well,
was similar because that was the time
he
club was
extended.
supposed to expire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
when
So
club extended to, you remember, club
mhm,
extended a couple of seasons ago. Pep extended to,
yeah.
and it was
So
supposed to end, scheduled to end at 2025, if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
mhm.
So yeah, I think
So
he's
that's the rumors. We might finally get our wish. He should leave us alone so that we can challenge properly. There's never going to be another
but
Pep. There's never going to be another Pep, to be honest. Like if Pep goes, Man City is gonna. They might win, but it's not going to be as
well, yeah,
dominant as Pep has been doing.
yeah,
No
maybe they
way.
might not be as dominant, but of course they will be winning
No
still
way.
because of what they
Yeah.
spend. Of course, if they are not, relegated to the 70th tier of English football
Oh
because they
yeah,
have
that
115 charges.
15 charges. It's not gonna happen, man. Like if you have money, you have influence. If it happens, it's
Yeah,
fine. It's gonna be fair, but I don't believe this. I don't believe so. I
they are taking
believe
on
that
the Premier League. I think they
yeah,
just sent the Premier League to court recently. Yeah, they are crazy,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Man City.
They have
They
they have the funds, they have the backing, they have the money. and those things
Uh-huh.
are matter in this space. So
They are very important.
yeah.
Yeah.
hmm Yeah, so we've come to the end of this freestyle review. It's good that we
Freestyle. This was a freestyle.
left it late, to discuss. So everybody else has had their own review done early, so we left ours late so that we can properly, just do it freestyle and review without no
Uh-huh.
pressure.
But
Yeah,
yeah, we come back early in the season. Of course, we will come back
yeah,
and then do
definitely
our
do a
preseason stuff.
pre-season.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah,
before the season start. Maybe hopefully the energy is higher by then. The
yeah.
energy levels are higher because this season the
In
way it
fact,
ended, the FPL FPL season, it was not easy. But hopefully, yeah, we will keep the consistency.
it gets
We'll
tough,
try.
man. It gets tough. Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully, you guys will enjoy the Euros. To be honest, that's one of my best tournaments to watch because the quality of football
Euros
is so high. Yeah, I
uh-huh.
enjoy it. To be honest. So thank
Next
you.
week.
Next week, hopefully, yeah. Thank you guys for
Mhm.
always supporting the pod. We are the Kutu Classic FPL podcast under the Jollof Football Bantaba banner on YouTube. So
Mhm.
catch that, the Gambian football content. We are there, making a name for
Yeah, yeah,
ourselves. Of course,
yeah.
always we appreciate the support of you guys. Obviously, this season, we haven't been as consistent. So hopefully we'll try and improve on that.
Definitely.
Apologies. Yeah, so always appreciate. So thank you guys as always, man. Catch you guys in the preseason, of course.
Yeah, preseason. Yeah, and sure.
Definitely. All right. Take care. One last time. Bye.
and and